Am I the asshole? For walking out the room after my brother told me the name of his baby. I am only a teenager, but my mother had my brother at 16, making him in his 30s. Ever since I was young, I have always talked about naming my future daughter Scarlett. I don't know why, but I have always adored the name. Every time the topic of babies' names and children comes up, I always say that my daughter will be called Scarlett. Everyone in my family knows this. Last week, my sister-in-law gave birthday to a healthy baby girl. As you can probably guess, they named Scarlett. I was really upset at my brother as he knows that was my top name. I didn't make a big deal about it. I just left the room, obviously upset. Scarlett isn't a family name or anything. And my brother has never mentioned liking the name. One time he said he wasn't a fan. I asked him why he would name his daughter that, and he told me to stop overreacting and get over it, and that I don't own the name. I get that it doesn't belong to me, but just because I am a teenager doesn't mean that I am not allowed to have plans for my future. Edit: when I say walked out, I didn't like storm out or anything, I just excused myself. A lot of people are saying that it's common for cousins to have the same name, but not here and in my family. And Scarlett isn't a common name here. Some people are confused. I'm a girl, and I'm not 16. Nah. He's right that you don't own the name. There's no guarantee that you will have a daughter, or that she and her cousin will socialize. However, he doesn't own it either, and so if you go ahead and name your daughter Scarlett, and he freaks, then he would be the Nah. You're young, so everything feels stronger. Stepping away was probably the right thing to do. While your brother should have given you the heads up, the likelihood is that his wife picked the name. Not the asshole. I think people in the comments are way too harsh. Obviously, you don't own the name, but your own brother knew you liked that name a lot. Then proceeded to name his baby that. I will say that it is hurtful, but I wouldn't make a big deal out of it. I've met so many people who have cousins with the same name, but you didn't cause a scene. You didn't say anything that could ruin your relationship with any. See how you're the asshole about a situation anyone would get. You don't have dibs on a name, but neither does your brother. You can still name your future child Scarlett. None. Nobody owns a name, but I'm not about to sit around and see my family friend talk about a baby name for years, and then turn around and name my baby that first. Not the asshole. The beautiful thing about no one owning names is that you are still allowed to name your future daughter Scarlett. Cousins sharing the same name is actually quite common. Not the asshole. Your brother is right, you don't own the name. Which doesn't mean that your disappointment is not a valid reaction. It would seem that your brother does not feel an obligation to consider you as a sibling when making important decisions in his life. Fair. See. By that same logic, you therefore have no obligation to consider him when asked to provide free babysitting. Fair is fair. You're not an A, but your brother is right. You don't own the name. It sucks that your sister-in-law named the baby Scarlett. But did you ask her about it? Was it a special name to her? Did she know that you had that name picked out? Or did your brother not share that information? And remember, you may not have any children when you get married. Or you may have kids and they end up being boys. Or you go ahead and name your daughter Scarlett, and that's that. Not the asshole, but I'd be curious as to why your brother settled on that name. Have you ever sensed he was jealous of you before? And wanted to spite you? See? This is why we don't tell anyone our future baby names. Not even family. Not the asshole for being upset. Sounds like you handled it all right, walking out and not causing a scene. You're right, you don't own the name, but then neither does he. If you want to name your future daughter Scarlett, then do it. He can't stop you, just like you can't stop him. That's a bit tit for tat, but I'm kinda petty, lol. Not the asshole your brother is, though. You're the asshole, you can't reserve a name. What the big deal even? Just name your daughter Scarlett too. Not the asshole. I think it's pretty wild of them to do that when he didn't even like the name. I've known cousins before who had the same name. You can still use the name. The kids won't even be super close in age, most likely. Just name your daughter Scarlet anyways. Nothing's stopping you from naming your child Scarlet. I just don't get this, getting mad over a name. I, Dermier, Kiba my son. Like several other have said, no one person owns a name. So. I remember back in the day it was actually cool when 2 or more of us had the same name in the family, but that's just me and I'm old. Hope start to feel better soon. Me. You can't reserve a name for a hypothetical future child that you might or might not have. Heck, you probably gave them the idea by announcing it every time the topic came up. Perhaps next time you should keep it to yourself. It was still a bit of a dick move on their part, but what's done is done, and there is nothing to gain by continuing to make it an issue. Esh! Why are you 16? And so obsessed with the name of your future child that all your relatives know about it? You don't know if you are going to have a girl child, and even more so, you don't know if your future partner will be okay with the name Scarlet for a daughter. What if then future partner has some kind of trauma around this name? This level of obsession is unhealthy. Just keep in mind that some kids resent the name given to them, and a few of them will change their names as soon they legally can. AITA. You said you don't plan on having sons. Tough shit, sister, you don't get to choose. They had a child first, they can name them whatever they want. You are too immature to have kids, and very uneducated. Haha, get over it. Who says you'll even have kids? How selfish and immature and naive of you. WTF. You're the asshole. You're a child that's not even in a serious relationship, getting all butthurt about a name for a baby that for all intents and purposes doesn't exist. You're literally making up a reason to be upset. Maybe children shouldn't be thinking of having children. You're the asshole. You don't get to call dibs on a name. Your brother and Sil just had a baby and you had to make it about you. Also, you're assuming that you will definitely have a daughter in the future, but chances are you will not. Just because you like a name, it doesn't mean you own it, or that you'll ever get to use it. So much main character energy, girly. This isn't cute. Get over yourself, grow up, and be happy for your family.